Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to My Jewish Learning's weekday Kaddish Minyan. We are thrilled to have you with us. As always, I want to draw your attention before we get started just to some other stuff that is in the works. The list is getting long, so I'm not going to run through it all, but I will put the link in the chat window in just a moment so you can all see it. But I did just want to highlight two quick things. One is that this evening at 8 o'clock, our sister website, Kveller, is hosting a live stand-up by Ophira Eisenberg from NPR. So if you need a little laugh, that might be a great thing to tune into. And tomorrow afternoon, we have a whole bunch of things going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things scheduled for Thursday. So there's a lot. I'm not going to read through it, but I will post the link in the chat, and be looking for some learning or some community or a little bit of laughter, which I'm sure we could all use these days. Please join us for that. We are here today to be led by my friend Menachem Creditor, who is with us on Wednesdays. So I will hand it over to him for a little bit of teaching and leading us in the Mourner's Kaddish. Menachem.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Ben. I am so glad to be part of this energy at the very least, and it's a lot more than this, but at the very least, because it marks time. And last week, I was able to be part of this. 2 weeks ago, I was able to be part of this. Please, God, we shouldn't need this kind of interface, but as long as we do, I'm very grateful to myjewishlearning.com and our other sister organizations who are making sure that we are connected as people, as community. So why don't we learn a little bit? I'll start us with bracha for learning, and then we'll say Kaddish together. If you don't know this blessing for learning, the melody was written by Rabbi David Paskin, dear friend of mine, and it ends with the words la'asok b'divrei Torah, to learn words of Torah, to be busy with them. So let's start with the blessing.
La'asok b'divrei Torah, la'asok b'divrei Torah, hafok pa, la'asok b'divrei Torah.
So let's learn a little bit of Torah. One of the things that typifies Pesach, and I'm really beginning to prepare my heart as much as I can for the way that we will experience it this year, is to think about time. We tell the story, B'chol dor v'dor chayav adam lirot et atzmo. Every generation, in every generation, a person must see themselves as if they themselves emerged from Egypt. And one of the things that is incredibly important to think about this year is that the story of Pesach seems to be a global experience. There's something very important, hard, of course, but important to see that the night before the biblical Pesach, the day of emergence, of liberation, the night before we were told, stay in your home, seal them up, don't go outside because there is something dangerous there. It's really important for us to recognize that while that is a tribal Jewish story, that is our people's story, that is the world's experience right now. What does Pesach look like in this time? And given that Pesach has us look backward and forward in time, what do we take from that? So just to review a few of the things that are part of the Pesach Seder that might be different this year. What makes this year different? Well, maybe these things. We start the Magid section, the storytelling section, by saying, Hashta Avde, this year, now, we are slaves. L'shana haba'a b'nei chorin. This coming year, we will be free. We're talking about the past, and we're talking about the future. We say, Avadim hayinu, we were slaves. Even the notion of time, when the rabbis in Bnei Brak spend all night talking about Exodus and liberation, they are told by their students, it's time. Say Shema, time and time and time. And one of the things that makes this moment so strange and so important for us to reflect upon is that day to day, do I remember that today is Wednesday? Well, when I went Facebook Live this morning for UJA Federation of New York, where I serve as scholar in residence, I accidentally called it Tuesday and actually believed that I was right until someone pointed it out. And then I said, oh, I lost track of time. So what is it to live in time? This is a short teaching by Rabbi Joseph Soloveitchik, one that I find to be very important to think about today. These are his words. To live in time means to be committed to a great past and to an unborn future. Time awareness also contains a moral element, he says, responsibility for emerging events and intervention in the historical process. People, according to Judaism, should try to mold and fashion the future. That is exactly why each of us has been created as a free agent. So just before we say Kaddish, here's what I'd like to ask you to do. You are a free agent. We are aware of time and can choose. We need to, but we can choose to spend time together, to pause each day, to make memory real as a community, to think about the future we wish were already here. So just before we get up to say Kaddish, one last thought. As a child, I would always want to be the one who opened the door for Elijah the prophet. As I got older, I began to say, oh, well, I know he's not there, so someone else can do it. It's a game. This year, let's pretend it's not a game. Let's make a game of pretending it's not a game. When you open the door bravely, have hope. Who knows if this is the moment that we've been waiting for? Who knows what good news could be waiting when we are blessed to open our doors together? May we be so blessed sooner than we expect. I'll ask you to join me. I'm going to rise and ask you to say Kaddish as you will. We'll say Morning's Kaddish together.
So they Iskadal, Iskadashime Rabba, Mati Braki, say, Say, B'chaychon, Kadar, Yit Halep, Amin, Kol, B'chata, Shirata, Tushmachata, Nechamata, Anbiama, Lama Rabba Min Shemayim, Aleinu V'Yalkol Yisrael,
יש לנו רבה מין שמיים, יעשה שלום במרומיו, ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
For us and all Israel, to which we say Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen to all your Kaddishes. Thank you for coming together as a community. Thank you for sharing that with me.
You're welcome. Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. We will be back again tomorrow at 4 p.m. in this space and every weekday for as long as the situation demands it. Until then, stay well. We hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.